Hello, friends. Welcome to the Heritage Center Storytime. My name is Miss Beth, and today we're reading a great book. It's called When I Was Young in the Mountains. It's written by Cynthia Relote and illustrated by Diane Good. What do you think this is about? Do you think it's about living in the Smoky Mountains long ago? Well, let's find out. When I was young in the mountains, Grandfather came home in the evenings covered with black dust of the coal mine. Only his lips were clean, and he used them to kiss the top of my head. When I was young in the mountains, Grandmother spread the table with hot cornbread, pinto beans, and okra. Later, in the middle of the night, she walked me through the grass to the outhouse and held my hand in the dark. I promised never to eat more than one serving of okra again. See the outhouse? Look for one at the Heritage Center. When I was young in the mountains, we walked across the cow pasture and through the woods, carrying our towels. The swimming hole was dark and muddy, and we sometimes saw snakes, but we jumped in anyway. Would you swim with a snake? On our way home, we stopped at Mr. Crawford's store for a mound of white butter. Mr. Crawford and Mrs. Crawford looked alike, and they always smelled of sweet milk. Look at this story, boys and girls. Do stories look like this today? When I was young in the mountains, we pumped pails of water from the well at the bottom of the hill and heated the water to fill round tubs for our baths. Afterwards, we stood in front of an old black stove, shivering and giggling while Grandmother heated cocoa on top. Do you see the old black stove, my friends? Look for these at the Heritage Center. When I was young in the mountains, we went to church in the schoolhouse on Sundays, and sometimes walked with the congregation through the cow pasture to the dark swimming hole for baptisms. My cousin Peter was laid back in the water, and his white shirt stuck to him, and my grandmother cried. Do you think they were happy tears? When I was young in the mountains, we listened to frogs sing at dusk and awoke to cowbells outside our window. Sometimes a black snake came in the yard, and Grandmother would threaten it with a hoe. If it didn't leave, she used the hoe to kill it. 4 of us once draped a very long snake, dead of course, across our necks for a photograph. Would you put a snake across your neck? When I was young in the mountains, we sat on the porch swing in the evenings, and Grandfather sharpened my pencils with his pocket knife. Grandmother sometimes shelled beans, and sometimes braided my hair. The dogs lay around us, and the stars sparkled in the sky. A bobwhite whistled in the forest. When I was young in the mountains, I never wanted to go to the ocean, and I never wanted to go to the desert. I never wanted to go anywhere else in the whole wide world, for I was in the mountains, and that was always enough. The end.